Welcome back to The Person Everyone Needs. I'm Webb Hoggard, and we are talking right now about important habits to have in your life in order to grow spiritually, to be spiritual people, to be like Jesus. Jesus was a praying person, and so we talked about how to have a good prayer life. Jesus knew the Word of God. He was the Word of God. He spoke it with authority. He preached it as someone who didn't need to consult other people. It was very important and very powerful the way he discussed the Word of God. Something else that Jesus did, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is he valued people. He made kids feel valued. He made women feel valued. He made the elderly feel valued. He made the rich feel valued. And then he also knew that those who thought of themselves a lot or were haughty in the way they acted, he knew how to humble them really quick, because anyone treating themselves as if they were more important than others was a big issue for Jesus. This is something that Jesus was really good at. You can see the way he talks to the woman at the well, or the way he meets Nicodemus at night, and the questions that he asked. I think Jesus was asked over 300 questions, and he only responded with an answer 3 different times. He always responded with a question, because Jesus knew that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You may be listening to this podcast and you're thinking to yourself, oh, let me throw up a couple of scenarios. Number one, you may think to yourself, Webb, I don't have any friends. Today, I want to help you with that. Maybe you're saying today, Webb, I have plenty of friends, but I want to have influence. Today, I want to help you with that. Maybe you're saying today, Webb, there's just no people in my circle that are wanting to improve themselves. I want to talk to you just a little bit about how to help that be the case. Because here's what I know to be the case. When you die, the legacy that you leave, and we all leave a legacy. We all are leaders. We are all leaving a legacy. But your legacy is not what you leave behind. It's who you leave behind. And you need to start asking yourself, what kind of traits are you multiplying in other people? Who needs you, and who are you there for? Who's been there for you? It's a great question to ask. What is the best thing you can do for those that are around you to show that kind of love, to show who it is that they need to be? So the first question, if you don't have many friends, what do you do? Okay, well, the first thing you do is you ask questions about others. Now, there's some people like me that can read right through this immediately. Like, I get weirded out when people ask me a bunch of questions about my life because I have trust issues, okay? So you're going to have to read that. I'm not saying any of this is foolproof, but I will tell you this. The person who asks me about my life, that's the person I want to tell about my life. But the person who only wants to talk about their life loses my interest quickly. Now, what does that mean? Like, does that mean that we never get to tell our story? No, in a way, you're kind of buying the attention by being attentive to others. If you would like people to listen to you, the way you buy that is by listening to them. This is not just a ploy. It's not just a tactic. It's not just some way of like, oh, so I do what they want so that I can get what I want. That's not what I'm saying. It's not a transaction. People are not ATMs. But what I am saying is you would do better to be interested in someone else than ever trying to get them interested in you. We are taught in the business world, like, put yourself out there, promote yourself, all that kind of stuff. And that might get you clicks and it might get you clients, but what it won't get you is friends. The way you make a friend is by being more interested in them than trying to get them interested in you. One of the ways you do that, and this is something I have to practice all the time, is be interested in whatever they are interested in. Take the time to ask questions and then be genuinely interested in the parts of their life. Even those things, what I would encourage you to do is try to find something you genuinely are interested in, because they can read through your disdain. But even if you can't genuinely find something you're interested in, just find something that you can connect with and connect on that thing big time. So people my age, Christians, people who've been Christians for many years at my age, We grew up during the golden age of contemporary Christian music. I have found that if you can connect to somebody over DC Talk or Newsboys or something along those lines, you got a friend forever, because it's kind of goofy how addicted we were to that Christian music scene. Carmen was during this season as well. So if you can make a connection like that, you've got a friend immediately. Again, my age group I'm thinking of, but maybe VeggieTales is one of those cultural things. Okay, so maybe you didn't grow up in churchy scene and all that, and so you don't know what I'm talking about. But okay, so maybe it's sports. Again, in my lifetime, I grew up in the greatest sports era I think that ever existed. When I was 10 years old, Michael Jordan was winning championships. John Elway won 2 championships back-to-back after not being able to win the big game for almost 20 years. Tiger Woods is coming out during that season, and so golf even has their superstar. It is like incredible what's taking place in the late 90s. And so maybe sports is that connection. Maybe, it's a hobby of some sort. Where I'm from, if you don't like hunting, there's nothing to talk about. Hunting and fishing is like the best thing. So, find a way to connect even if you don't even do those things. I have a friend who doesn't like to hunt and doesn't really, is not even comfortable with guns. But one of the ways to connect with people is like, hey, it's getting cold outside. You going hunting? Yeah. Talk about the weather, because the weather affects hunting. My dad is a logger, and I tried logging for a short stint, but I'm a very clumsy person, and I basically left a hunk of meat every time I went out there some way or another. I messed my hands up or hurt myself, and so I found out that I probably wasn't going to do good around that large equipment. But my dad, I try to constantly ask him about how the weather's going, or where's he working at now. In no way do I does it not matter to me, but it's not something I know a lot about. It's not like I'm going to drop by this week, and it's not like if it rains it really changes my schedule very much, but I know that it changes my dad's, and I want to connect to him. So these are not like tricks. I'm not telling you like, hey, don't be genuine. Be genuine in all of these things. Be very genuine in these ideas. But the best way to have a friend, the best way to have influence, is to take the time to be interested in what they're doing. Don't give your resume. Take the time to interview the other person. Ooh, that is good. If you want to connect, listen, if you want to connect with your teenager, don't every single time say, yeah, well, when I was your age, I did this. Don't give your resume immediately. Take the time to conduct the interview before you give the resume, because people want to know you care before they care how much you know. And that's the way it always was. Jesus was really good at that. And if we're going to make a difference, we have to be really good at that. I love John Maxwell's writings, but one thing he does that I think sets him apart from a lot of other leaders, that may not even be true. A lot of these gurus, what they're really good at doing is getting you to lower your shield to receive things to make yourself better. And one of the ways that John Maxwell does this may sound very cheap to you. It does to me, but it works because you can believe him. John Maxwell said, "Hi, my name is John, and I'm your friend." That's all it takes. He tells that he's your friend, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can listen to you then. Like, he doesn't come in and say, I'm a guru. He doesn't come in and say, I've changed everybody's life that's ever talked to me. He comes in and says, hi, I'm your friend, and I want to help you grow. I listened to another podcast by Craig Rochelle, and he always says, thank you for listening today, because I believe you got a little better today. And when the leader gets better, or everyone wins when the leader gets better. That's how he says it. And I believe him every time he says it. And he takes the time to invest in my life. I listen to Andy Stanley's leadership stuff. Dr. Mark Rutland has a wonderful leadership podcast. I listen to these guys because I believe that they actually have my true identity and true purpose in life in mind. And so I really am drawn to that. So I hope today that I have encouraged you to be a better influencer, a better friend, or a better leader, because everyone wins when the leader gets... because that's the person that everyone needs. I'll see you guys next week.